Dear grade 11 students, today we have a grammar lesson, module 10, page 145. Get your books ready. Our objective for today is to use zero, first, and second conditionals effectively. So what's a conditional sentence? A conditional sentence is a sentence that we use to express cause and effect. To express cause and effect in a conditional clause, we use the word if. But there are many types of conditionals: zero, first, second, and third. Today, we're going to learn about zero, first, and second conditionals. The first type of conditionals we're going to learn about today is the zero conditionals. The formula is if or when, followed by simple present verb, then another simple present verb. For example, if or when you freeze water, it turns into ice, as in this example. Note that the verbs freeze and turns here are both in the simple present forms. When do we use zero conditionals? We use them to express general truths, like scientific facts, rules of games, things that are 100% true. Let's look at this example. If or when you heat ice, it melts. This is a scientific fact. That's why it's a zero conditional sentence. Let's look at another example here. Do you know this game? It's called tic-tac-toe, but you know it as XO. So what's the rules of this game? If you get 3 X's or 3 crosses in a row or 3 O's in a row, you win. So we say the rule, if you get 3 crosses in a row, you win. This is a rule of a game, that's why we use the zero conditional here. The verbs get and win are both in the present simple forms. Now let's look at another type of conditional sentences, first conditionals. First conditionals are used to express something which is likely to happen in the future. In other words, conditions that have a real possibility of happening in the future. Unlike zero conditionals, we are not 100% sure, but there is a big chance that it will happen. Let's look at this example. This line represents time. This is the present. So this is the past, and this is the future. It's the beginning of the school year. You still have a whole year ahead of you to study and pass the test. So you need to study hard to pass the test. The two actions are in the future. So your teacher says, if you study hard, you will pass the test. Is there a chance for me to pass the test if I study hard? Yes. Can this happen? Of course. Does this mean my passing the test is 100% guaranteed? No, it's not. But passing the test is a very likely thing to happen. Let's look at another example. Our handball team are playing a match at 5 p.m. Now it's 4 p.m. So the match hasn't started yet. So they will play and they will hopefully win. So I say, if the team play well, they will win. Now let's look at the structure of these two examples here. Can you now tell what the structure of a first conditional sentence is? Exactly. It's if, followed by present simple, then will, and base form. But this structure is not a fixed structure. Although will is the most common word we use in the first conditionals, we can sometimes replace it with other models. For example, in this sentence, if you study hard, you will pass the test. I can replace will with can to stress ability, or with may or might if I'm not quite sure. I can also say, if you want to pass the test, you should study hard. In this sentence, I want to give advice. Or I can say, if you want to pass the test, you must study hard to express obligation. Or I can simply use the imperative form of the verb, as in this example here. If you want to pass the test, study hard. Or, if you go out, wash your hands when you get home. Or the negative imperative, as in this sentence. If you go out, don't touch your face at all. Now let's read this sentence carefully. If you are not careful, you will have an accident. We can see that the verb after if is in the negative form. In this case, we can replace if and not with one word. This word is unless. So we can say, unless you are careful, you will have an accident. This means unless equals if not. In this example of first conditional sentences, we learned that when the two actions are in the future, we use first conditionals. But if the school year already started and the teacher thinks that you are not studying hard, the verb study is no longer in the future. It moves to the present. And passing the test is now unlikely or improbable. So in this case, we use second conditionals. And the teacher says, if you studied hard, you would pass the test. So we use second conditionals to express situations which are unlikely to happen, as in this example, or situations that are unreal or imaginary. Now, look at the structure of these two examples. Can you now tell what the structure of a second conditional sentence is? Exactly. If, past simple, and then would plus the base form of the verb. But this is not a fixed structure because we can sometimes replace would by could or might. In second conditionals, where is often used instead of was. As in this example, if I were younger, I would play football all day. We say if I were, not if I was. To express opinion or to give advice, we use if I were you, not if I was. Now open your books, page 145, exercise A. Read the sentences carefully and answer the questions. Take your time, pause the video, and come back to check your answers. So here are the answers. Now check your answers and correct your mistakes. Now exercise B. Look at the sentences and complete the rules below. You are supposed to complete the rules for zero conditionals, first conditionals, and second conditionals. Pause the video, complete the rules, and come back to check your answers. Yes, here are the answers. I'm sure you answered all the questions correctly. Now exercise C. Your task is to complete the dialogue with the correct form of the verbs in brackets. Pause the video, take your time to correct the verbs, and come back to check your answers. Here are the correct forms of the verbs. Check your answers and correct your mistakes. For more practice, you can answer exercise E, page 123 in your workbook, and you can refer to the video for answers. This is the end of our lesson today. For homework, please log on to your Teams Corner and do the homework and the quizzes assigned to you by your class teacher. Thank you for listening. Best wishes and stay safe.